He has risen.
Welcome back to another episode of the Robb Crocker Show. My name is Alex Gonzalez, here with the usual suspect, Jared Burrows.
Not JB today?
Oh, you're JB, all right.
You're JB after formal introductions.
All right.
And this is Robb Crocker of the Robb Crocker Show.
Already interrupting. It's going to be one of those nights, I see.
It is.
The Pope dies, and we're looking for somebody to replace him. Is it going to be a liberal? Is it going to be a conservative? The people are having a meltdown from the one person that guides everyone in the Catholic faith. Your thoughts?
I think that they will end up picking someone more conservative. I think they should, at least. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't, but I think that's probably the Catholic Church's best way to go right now.
It would definitely be in their best interest.
Yeah, I think to turn things around for the past, 8 years he's been?
10.
Oh, so Obama, Trump.
Obama, Biden.
Last 2 years
That was
of
at
Obama.
least 10, yeah.
Yeah, last 2 years of Obama. Trump, Biden, now Trump. So, I mean, I think more right-leaning, I think, would be best interest to kind of bring back the Catholic Church where it needs to be.
Well, one thing...
And get the gold out of there.
One thing that guides the world is money. And since he has been Pope, they're going to hope, but the donations to the Catholic Church have dwindled annually since he has been in that position.
Interesting.
So I don't know if it's society. I don't know if it's all of the dynamics across the world, but I know a lot of people are more frugal now with what money they're going to give away.
Yeah. I think, too, like, Christianity itself has still been growing consistently, but not necessarily the Catholic Church. So meaning, like, there's obviously a bunch of different denominations that people are going to. So I'm not sure exactly why the Catholic Church specifically has been, getting less donations, but neither here nor there.
Well, a lot of people who are Catholics happen to be Latin Americans. So somehow, full circle, across the world, does that have any relevance?
I mean, maybe in terms of money, kind of like you said, the economy in a lot of Latin American countries hasn't been the best recently. Like Venezuela is a big example.
But when you hear people who are blasting, saying that the the Catholic religion will essentially wash away if they get the wrong pope. It's no different. If you get a person who is capable of verbally interacting with people on all spectrums of the world, you're going to have someone who can raise money. Mm-hmm. You're going to have someone people will follow. The Pope is not the end all. Jesus is where it ends. After the weekend we just had, Easter weekend, he has risen, heard it over and over. The liberal media is actually talking about J.D. Vance killing the Pope because he was the last person from America.
What a strange time
to meet with him.
Yeah.
So he has become, he ended the Pope's life.
Did you ever see the interview, the movie?
I have not.
There's a scene where they hire the main guy his job is to essentially assassinate Kim Jong-un. So they give him a little piece of poison that they put on his hand. So when he goes to shake his hand, that kills him. So the meme circling around is like JD Vance is him, and he's like walking up to him like this.
Well, if you say that enough, people will start believing it.
People, yeah, there are people that do believe it, unfortunately, which is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
And guess what? I guarantee you, they all have purple hair, pink hair, and they don't believe the things that we
They're
believe.
freedom fighters.
Yeah, they're fighting for their freedom, all right. So, well, let's start out with something I read on the plane today as I was traveling that I found very intriguing to me, especially in the circumstances that we're in across the United States right now. A nation which does not remember what it was yesterday does not know where it is today. I think that is so fitting because of the people doing the things that they're doing. Everybody needs to put blinders on and ask yourself simple questions. Do you want America to be safe? It doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican. These are questions I want to ask y'all. Do you want America to be safe?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you want to have freedom?
Yeah. Maintain the freedom we had yesterday.
Do you want prices to be less expensive?
Yes.
Do you want girls to play with boys in sports?
No.
No.
So you have 4 simple questions that we just all asked and answered. Do you want to do you want your elected politician to go to El Salvador and draw attention to a convicted individual who was in this country illegally, a wife beater, a trafficker of people? Do you want your elected politician bringing attention to this man?
No. Why?
You have senators from Maryland. Now you have a plethora of other political, from Senator Booker to congressmen, that are all taking it upon themselves to fly to El Salvador to bring attention to this man. Well, this man, their excuse because of this is that his constitutional rights have been trampled on. Well, number one, he is not an American citizen. He does not have constitutional rights. He was here illegally. So, by his illegal action, created an equal or greater reaction. The reaction was he went to court multiple times. Multiple judges found him that he was here illegally. His defense was, you can't send me back to El Salvador because rival gangs will kill me. But then you have people saying that he's not a member of a gang. Well, that's a tit for a tat. That's ping pong. You got spiked. He admitted he was in a gang.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So bring him back. Just let's say for shits and giggles, bring him back to the United States of America, to Maryland, put him in custody. Don't go home, don't go anywhere, and deport him to another country. Because that is what the law says we can do.
True. Or we could just leave him in El Salvador.
The unfortunate part about it, you've got enough people who have brought the attention. We trampled on his rights, which I don't know how, but we did.
Well, if he's illegal, he doesn't have rights. And if he's a convicted felon, he loses a lot of those rights in America anyways. So it's like a double jeopardy there.
Yeah. I think, too, just because they're bringing attention to the issue and there's certain people that feel sorry for him, doesn't mean that we have to turn around and say, all right, you're right, we'll bring him back. I think that the whole reason why we elected the president we did is so that he can say, no, you guys are acting stupid.
Well, that's the whole thing. We talked about it before, and I'm actually surprised because previously, when there were people, the media used children in pictures in cages. That was their go-to. Look at what he's doing. Well, now it's like magic. The media, the Democrats, and all of the other liberal parts of this scenario are moving the coconut shells around so the people can't see exactly what's happening in America. America's getting better every day. America's getting stronger every day. The economy is on the verge to just take off like a rocket. People are going to respect our country again. I don't understand all of these people who are so adamantly going to El Salvador. And I want people who live in these regions to where these politicians are doing this. And I want you to go to them and ask them, did you ever go to the southern border when we were getting invaded by thousands and upon thousands of people daily? The answer is going to be no. So then ask them, why is it so important for you to go to El Salvador and see this guy? It is selfish. It is hedonistic behavior to draw attention to them so people will notice them in their side of the fence and vote for them. It is black magic.
It's basically a publicity stunt, but I hope to God they're not using, our funds to do it.
Well, they are using funds that they have raised for their political reelection. So they are using funds that someone gave them. Okay, I support person A. If I know what person A is going to do with the money I'm going to give him, I'm probably not going to give person A the money to go to El Salvador. So I want to know what you stand for, where you stand. That's why it's so easy. Every reporter should go and ask where you can get the best whiskey in America.
Yes, and they'll all tell you the same thing. Branch and Barrel in Colorado.
And we have to expedite getting vodka in Florida because guess what? It will be the best vodka. And we will all be partaking a lot.
Yes.
So go back to the reporter who asked the politician and say, what do you stand for? And nobody can answer the question. That's the devil in the detail. Why can't anyone ask the question? Do you stand for this? Nope, I can't answer that question because it might not be the right answer for the person I need to vote for me. JB said something funny before we went live that they're going down there to bring their voter base back.
Yeah.
I guess another thing too, if these people that were elected, where their constituents look at them and say, why are you wasting our tax dollars or whatever super PAC or PAC they donated for their campaign, wasting that by traveling to El Salvador, making it a publicity stunt to do what for whom? You don't see them traveling to meet individuals in America to ask, hey, what's your problem? Can I help you out? Right? They don't seem to really care. So will this backfire long term?
Yes, it will.
I hope it does.
Because it's a sleight of hand to take your eye off of reality. There's people in prisons in the United States of America who could be wrongfully convicted if they were to take the time to research and look into that. But they're using this as an example. So what I see is the Democratic Party spinning out of control. There is no identity. There is no leader. They say OAC might be the leader.
Yeah, see?
I think that's the greatest thing in the world. I'll get up on this table right now and dance for you if she is. Because a blind baboon can beat her.
Well, I think it's essentially another Kamala Harris. Her only qualifications is that she's younger and she's a woman. if you consider that qualifications for anything.
Well, the irony of this is that she's only been in office because of that. Right? She's not a lawyer. She wasn't serving as like the attorney general anywhere. Like Kamala Harris actually had.
She was serving.
Drinks
well,
on a
bartending, yeah.
They say she was a tremendous bartender. By the way.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe that.
I think she should go back to doing that.
Well, the only way that can happen is that the people in New York get out and vote and say, adios, senorita.
Mm-hmm.
Time to go. Because I'm a firm believer. Term limits, term limits, term limits. And that's the only way that you can see and analyze the credibility and the visibility of what these people are doing. And once you see it, you can say, I don't want you representing me anymore. You got to go. And the only way you can get rid of people is by voting.
But I was thinking with term limits, if she can get in with no qualifications, they can continue to rig the voting systems like they do in New York and California and just put someone else in there who would just do what they're told.
More bartenders.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Because who wouldn't stop that job to make, what, $172K a year to become a house seat, right?
It would be interesting to see we talked about it, where she was with her financial wherewithal before she was elected to what she's worth now.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would be a perfect example to see what the system has done and how she has become more financially secure.
Yeah.
She was in Coachella in California to where she flew first class. The people out there paying $600, $800 a ticket. So, but she and Bernie Sanders are out there talking about how you got to protect the people from the wealthy people. It makes no sense. It's a double-edged sword, and I hope that the Democratic Party and the libtards take this to the end, and this is what they want to fight for. I hope they want to fight for girls in sports. I hope they want to fight for illegal people committing crimes and continue doing the things that they're doing, because it takes the eyes off of the reality. Mm-hmm. And the reality is people care about America. People want better jobs. We want more coming back to America. We want America to be a dominating force. And those people don't want America to be a dominating force. They want us to be a following country. America's not a following country.
No.
We're a country full of leaders and a country full of idiots sometimes.
Yeah. Scott said that AOC has all the qualifications that are stated in the Constitution to run. I mean, hence why she did run and get elected.
Is that the best that Scooter's got tonight? Yes.
Well, he also said you like girl vodka.
You know what? Touche. I will drink whatever makes my happy liver continue to be happy. Whether it's girl vodka, whatever it may be. Let's get back on the tracks, JB. Tell us about your Easter weekend and all the eggs that you found.
Did you find the golden egg?
No, I didn't find the golden egg. I didn't go egg hunting this time. But, basically, I went to church with my parents, had breakfast, the original thing.
Let me ask you a question real quick. What did the pastor talk about at church?
Like specifically, we talked about a lot of stuff.
No, what was his message for Easter Sunday?
Well, basically, he is risen. But we talked about a lot of stuff over the next hour.
I mean, that is like...
Yeah, the main...
I guess my question is, did he blow smoke up everybody's ass for a certain amount of time, or did he have a direct message about Jesus and why we're here? Because I've heard from 3 or 4 different people this weekend to where they all thought that their service wasn't as good as usual.
No, I didn't experience that.
No, I didn't experience that. In fact, he talked about like past miracles and like asking Jesus for help and a few other things too. It was actually really good. It was actually a lot better than normal, I'd say.
I think I get what you're saying though, because usually, I mean, plenty of churches out there, but I'm sure that Easter time or Christmas or the major holidays, it's kind of like you do the same sort of talk. We tell the story and kind of weave it into our lives a little bit, and then you cut it early because everyone wants to go home. But no, I mean, I think my service was a legit service, Easter themed, but of course it was more direct and had a lot of details that were shared. So I was satisfied with it. I also obviously went to church and then had some dinner here with some of the family. So
He had a lot of leftovers too.
yes, always a lot of leftovers.
A lot
There's
of
always
leftovers.
more food that's made than is
What
needed.
was the food of the day for you guys?
For me, it was potato salad. Actually, it was the best potato salad I've ever had.
Store-bought or homemade?
Homemade.
Well, my family likes to go to church super early, so I had brunch. So that, and then had leftovers at his place, so it worked out.
What was your favorite item of food that you stole from my house?
That's really good. Had a little bit of everything. Probably some of those noodles, the penny noodles I had.
Pasta.
Speaking of pasta, if you want some of the best pasta in the greater Orlando area, the Vineyard is where you need to go. See Chef Liz, and if you're by yourself, sit at the bar and have Lauren take care of you. She is a wonderful mixologist, and she will make sure when you leave there that you're completely happy. And that is a great place. I know I talk about it a lot, but when you can provide the service and the quality of food and the experience that you get while you're there, it's just no reason not to get other people in there and spread the word,
Absolutely.
just like the pastor did Sunday.
What did you do for Easter?
I did one of the most painful things that I love hunting, and I'm old. I have never shot an Eastern North Carolina turkey. I go out there, I look at them, I call them, I hear them, I see them, but I can never get it close enough. So I think that it doesn't like the way I look, the way I smell, but I did that a couple mornings. I got up and went turkey hunting, and I did not go to church because I self-served myself on Sunday morning with my dog, Penn. She was diagnosed with hyperthyroid, which makes sense because all she's wanted to do for about the past 6 months is lay around and sleep. She's gained 20 pounds. So I'm hoping that comes to fruition to where she rises again and runs like a puppy and it becomes a happy dog again, because it's sad to see, especially being 5 years old.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to help. You can already see that just a little bit of giddy up's coming in. So hopefully in a couple weeks, I'll look at her and say, damn, girl, you lost some weight.
Hopefully, yeah.
And you have like several dogs, don't you?
I have 4 Chesapeake Bay Retrievers.
Okay.
The 2 boys, they were happy dogs. The puppy, Luna, she's a complete athlete. She is just wide open, can run miles at 35 miles an hour. She likes it's impressive. So I'm happy. It was a good vacation. It was nice to just be low key. Everybody else went to church. They went to the sunrise service on the beach, and that's why I asked the question, because they were the ones who kind of thought that it was not as good as normal.
Gotcha, yeah.
And I've been several times. It's got 2 things against it I don't like to do. I got to park. I got to walk a long way. Then I got to get in the sand. As much as I love the ocean, I hate the sand.
I think for me, like, if you're going to go to the beach, you have to go with the intention of going in the ocean or laying out or whatever it is you're doing. Like, my mom loves going to the beach regardless. Like, she'd make us, growing up, we'd take pictures on the beach, like, in, like, fully dressed. And I hated it because it's like, we're not here to do what we're supposed to do. We're here dressed in jeans and there's sand everywhere, and that's annoying. So, yeah, if you're going to the beach, my opinion is you're going to actually enjoy the beach and not do other stuff.
I've been offshore fishing and seen some of the most beautiful sunrises, to where I know that there's a higher power and the world is filled with things greater than me or us. And I think religion and things like that should be self-relevant, to where whatever you feel and how you think you should go with it makes that person happy, basically based on what you just said. I don't do dog and show and pony. That ain't for me. And it's like growing up, everybody was, who's at church? Got to be seen. And
Well, you're going for the wrong reason.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think a lot of times,
that's how
people-
I became black. If it ain't black, it's white. I don't really give a shit. I don't want to see your pastel fucking bow tie. I
yeah,
really don't
'cause-
care.
I think if you focus more on the relationship thing, you're looking at following Christ because you want to, not necessarily because you feel like you have to, or because you want, because you feel like you have to.
Yeah, I think it's a personal relationship with Christ, and then church is just friends and fellowship, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I went to see my daughter get baptized, and I was very grateful to be able to be there for that. It was I guess it's more of a community church to where they have the electric guitars, the drums, that type of church. And I'm very happy that she's developed and found the relationship that she has with Jesus Christ, and she's where she wants to walk, and I think that's amazing. So I was able to do that. That was good. But it's just, again, when you look around, you just, I don't know that I personally see the sincerity
Yeah.
that I would want to see.
Right. No, I get that. Especially sometimes people that serve in the church, it almost feels like it's kind of a self-righteous thing a lot of times. And that my experience, Yeah.
Is it really volunteer or?
Right.
Well, when you look at buildings that are small buildings, they don't have a lot of money. But then when you look at big churches that have a big building, where the hell does all the money come from? It's somehow that's the part of it that I don't necessarily like.
Gotcha.
So, to get back away from that, I was excited today. We're going to talk about something that JB loves.
Cigars or whiskey or?
No, you stealing food from Gonzo's house. Did any of the food you stole have red dye in it?
Actually, no, I would say, unless the tomatoes are GMO'd, but I don't think.
I would hope not. No.
I mean, I hope not.
I mean, we found out that cherries you buy in produce have red dye, which is crazy.
Sense, yeah.
I was thinking the bar cherries. That makes sense.
Yeah, the
Like,
What
he
are
was
they
Lombardi,
telling
called?
me-
Mary Children? Marciano?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Lombardi
Yeah,
Italian
like that
cherries.
stuff.
Yeah.
But like a bag of cherries from produce, the fact that those have red dye in them is crazy.
So many of the foods in grocery stores have to have makeup put on them, so they look appealing when you're in there to buy them.
And we've known that for a while too. I think the issue is like if you go to a specific section or a specific store that is supposed to have the organic stuff, the non-GMO, non-altered, to find out that some of that stuff is still altered is the worst part. That's why I think too a lot of the whole farm to table thing has become more popular. People finding places to go to get their beef that is from the farm or vegetables from the farm is because you can't trust the non-GMO food that you buy at the store.
So JB, what will be the one food when it's banned that has red dye that you're gonna lose your mind over?
I was hoping you asked me this. I eat a lot of Whole Foods as it is, like steak and stuff, so I don't think I'll miss anything.
Steak has they got red dye.
Red dye?
Yeah.
Organic
Hamburger.
Organic beef has red dye?
Unless you go
To the farm?
to the farm.
So the place we go to, if you buy the beef, it's not as red as it is in the store. It's more of like a dull purple kind of color. When you go to the store though, like Publix, no matter what it is, it's
Bright red. Bright red. Like the salmon.
Which I think growing up, we kind of conflate that with it being fresh.
Actually, there we go. There's another answer. So the salmon, if that's bought, that actually does say red enhanced.
Yeah.
So that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. That's a good example
Farm
too.
raised salmon versus actual
farm raised salmon is horrendous for you.
Yeah.
All farm raised fish are like astronomically worse for you.
It's just a giant fish tank.
Yeah.
Basically.
I would almost recommend, if you're wanting fish in lieu of getting farm raised fish, buy a can of tuna, buy a can of salmon, buy that or sardines, and you'll be 10-to-1 better because it's not farm raised. There is a couple places in California that are quote unquote farming yellowfin tuna out in the ocean.
Okay.
To where they have nets and everything set up. But I still think you're going to run into the dynamic when you take something that should be swimming miles upon miles, and you put them in a situation to where they're swimming in circles.
That's like the free range versus, farm raised when it comes to like chickens or cows or whatever.
Right.
You want the free range because that's the bigger difference than like, what is it? I think farm raised is what they call them, or I don't remember what the terms are.
Anything can be classified as farm raised. Okay, right. I'm on a farm. I got a cow. I got a pig. I got a chicken. They're all farm raised.
Yeah, we could turn this into a farm here, but it's not free range.
So I think have the choices that you have now with cereals, and all of the other things that quote unquote have red dye in it.
Manufactured food, processed food.
Like Mountain Dew was bad because it had sugar in it.
We got to go back to that.
Then now there is a red Surge Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the cutoff's going to be. I don't know where the balance is going to be. But I know that there's going to be a tremendous, like ketchup, there's going to be a tremendous inventory that has to get eliminated before the new processes come in place.
Yeah.
Probably a highly discounted with like some kind of warning or something.
I mean, according to what we saw, he said that as of 4 p.m. today, it's going to be banned. I'm not sure entirely how that works, but if that's the case, that means that starting tomorrow, today or tomorrow, anything that's produced cannot be using the red dye.
So I'm okay with moving forward on manufacturing, but I'm also okay with the businesses selling what they have in reserve, because I don't think I don't think you can detrimentally hurt a company like that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too, because people are still going to buy it regardless. People have been buying it, so I mean, they're going to put it on the shelves, they're going to sell it, go through whatever they can, and then the new stuff is eventually going to be seen more and more. So and maybe we'll notice ketchup looks a little different. I don't know.
Will there be?
I think with ketchup, it will be
like a different red, but still red.
I think it's darker. I think like the more organic ketchup is darker, and the one that you usually see at restaurants and stuff is more bright red.
So will there be bootleg red dye food getting sent into America or Canada from Canada?
I mean, maybe for like a few people that really want it, but
the thing about it is, personally, they don't even have that shit in Ghana. They don't have it in Canada. They don't have it in Europe. Mexico. All these places don't have it.
My thing is like, why would you want dye in your food? That's my thing. Like, I get like in America, sometimes you go into a store and that's the only option. But if we got rid of it, I just don't understand anyone being like, hey, let's bring it back. Meaning, a consumer. Obviously not the people that are making it.
Parents have bought the Fruit Loops. Generation has grown up eating this. So they buy this for their kid, thinking, this is what I ate.
Yeah.
Just continue down the line. And I think sooner or later, you got to break the cycle.
Yeah.
I think we have way too many choices in life, period, for food. It's just, you go in a grocery store, gas stations used to have gas, a candy bar rack, and a Pepsi, a Coke, and a pack of naps. Now it's got 42 different flavors of energy drinks. It's ungodly.
Yeah. It's a whole convenience store, essentially.
But people, our desire to want more. I can remember when Red Bulls were 99 cents. Now they're 2 for $5. And granted, I drink a shitload of sugar-free Red Bull. I'm not going to lie. I probably drink 24 every 2 days.
Jeez.
And that's on top of what other energy drinks.
You don't like coffee?
I drink a cup in the morning just to get stuff worked out.
Habit. Oh, yeah, that
Well,
too.
what's weird about Red Bull, since it's already in a can, most people drink from a can. If they remove the red dye, it probably wouldn't really affect them
There's
much at
no
all.
red dye in Red Bull.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's not actually red.
I don't know.
I'm sure they do
No,
have some
they
sort of dye
actually
in
do
there.
have flavors now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing too. They start taking out the artificial flavoring too in the future.
I think so.
So how far will it be able to go before people do what they always do? Man, this guy's breaking down. He can't do this. He's hurting society by trying to make America healthier.
Yeah, Jared.
Well, one step at a time. Back to healthiness.
But that's my whole point is like, why? How could you be upset with someone who's genuinely trying to make your food better for you?
The same damn people are upset for closing the border. Oh, we're trying to make the country safe.
But I think this is even another level of just like, it's like you genuinely want to eat poison. Like, I get the whole immigration thing. Like, someone might be like, well, we have to be nice to them. I get the delusion. But the fact that you're going to sit there and go, I want dye in my food, bring back the GMOs, bring back all this. Like, I want to genuinely eat poison. That is a whole nother level of delusion in my eyes.
It goes hand in hand, guys, with the people not able to admit that COVID was invented in a lab in China.
China.
The truth will set you free, but people are scared to tell the truth across the world because it hurts somebody's feelings. We got anything from anybody? What is Scoot saying? What's he saying tonight?
Maraschino cherries. He wanted to correct us.
Maraschino
yeah.
cherries. Ah, man, he's actually that intelligent.
He is. He knows a lot.
He must have Googled that while we. That's what that was.
We'll never know.
Maybe he likes old fashions. Who knows?
Hey, but we got a bourbon to make old fashions with.
You
True.
do. Branch and Barrel flagship bourbon. Or the weeded bourbon. Both of those would be good options, honestly.
So we're definitely looking forward to continuing our partnership with Branch and Barrel out of Colorado, continuing to expand their reach throughout the Southeast, because when you find a quality product, you want to see it in stores to where you can get it.
Of course.
Because that's one of the things about being here and traveling across the country.
And no red dye.
You go to places and you want the same thing you have at home. Like there's a water that doesn't sponsor us, so I'm not going to bring their name up. But I'll be more than glad to bring their name up if they'll volunteer. But they started putting their water in aluminum cans, in aluminum bottles. And by far, it's the best tasting water I've ever had in my life. It is far superior than any of the expensive name brand waters. Just, I don't know what the aluminum bottle does to it, but the flavor is just amazing.
Crisp.
Ice cold, yeah.
There's a lot of... there's stuff like that in Europe where companies are making more... like aluminum canned water or bottled water. Some of them do cardboard box water, which I'm not a fan of at
No.
all. 'Cause it's,
I don't like
It reminds me of a cardboard wine or box wine.
yeah, exactly. That's just
That's scraped off the bottom of the barrel, you know.
Like I still love milk, but I loved milk when I was a kid.
Glass.
But I hated milk out of the little carton.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
man, this is not working. But out of a glass, it was phenomenal.
Yep.
So what foods do you have a problem with them banning? Whether it's red dye, whether it's too much sugar, what is going to be your one thing that you don't want to see banned?
I don't know. I think like my view on it is you should allow companies to make, if they want to make a really sugary drink, they can do that as long as they're using like natural sugar and not using anything that's artificial. I don't have a problem with that. I still think you do have to have some level of choice. So like
censorship-
old-fashioned Coke, for example.
Yep.
back in the day. It was loaded up with sugar, maybe something else. We don't know, but that's fine. I think that taking the whole artificial, enhanced dyes, all that stuff away, I'm totally okay with.
So how did we come full circle to where we had cane sugar in a Coca-Cola?
Mm-hmm.
And then, as time progressed, hopefully, ingenuity and technology, that same drink came 100x worse for you.
I think it's just the greed of the companies.
Yeah,
They
'cause
found
the
a cheaper
ingredients
way
are
to
How
do
is it, like, why would it not be just as cheap to say, all right, we're going to put some water, some artificial coloring, and some cane sugar, and whatever the hell else goes into a Coca-Cola? Back in the day. Not the list of 72 ingredients today. How is that not more profitable?
No, I think over time, all the artificial ingredients are so cheap that you can substitute out real ingredients.
It's when it's mass produced, it's cheaper because you're able to use less ingredient to make it either sweeter, but the main thing too is more addictive.
Yeah.
It's like cigarettes.
Yeah.
The fact in America, their focus, whether it's cigarettes, soda, a lot of food companies, the focus is to make you more addicted to it so you can buy more.
Yeah, and plus, like, as long as the flavor doesn't change, the customer retains.
Okay,
Yeah.
I disagree. Everybody, Coca-Cola, they had this grand idea. We're going to create the new Coke.
Oh, it failed. Flopped.
Oh, yeah. So people become familiar with what they want to deal with on a daily basis. Like, I like Coca-Cola. That was my drink of choice when I was a kid. My little niche was get a little Coke and a couple of Reese's Cups. I'm not a sweet person. Like, if I'm going to eat anything sweet, it would be Reese's Cups or a piece of cheesecake.
Nice.
And I may have a Coke. And I don't even drink, to me, Coke on ice, 1,000 times better out of a bottle than out of a bottle. But if I'm going to drink it out of a bottle, I'd rather have it out of the glass. So, and I don't know. I think it's going to escalate, JB. So that's why I was asking you, what food would you hate to see banned?
I mean, like, going back to the salmon, if people don't see bright red salmon at, like, Publix anymore, they might be, a little hesitant to buy it because it's actually what it should be looking like. I don't know any particular foods that I would stop eating, though,
Well, see, like, I like sushi grade salmon. Sushi grade salmon is light pink.
Mm-hmm.
It's not red.
Yeah.
And I like sushi grade tuna. And I prefer it to be dark red.
I think that it kind of actually does go back to what you're saying, where people get familiar with it and they just like to have what's familiar to them. But at the same time, it's like if you go, the one person will go buy salmon from the store and look for the brightest, most beautiful looking piece of salmon, but then they'll go to the sushi restaurant and order sushi grade salmon and not complain about it. But because that's like the choices that are given to them. So I think that the masses aren't going to care at the end of the day if that's what they're given. That's just what they're going to do. There might be like some, oh, well, the Coke doesn't taste quite the same or whatever. But I mean, they're still going to buy it. And there's not going to be enough mass panic to make them go, oh, maybe we should put all the chemicals back into this.
Like, we're all creatures of habit here. All right, so I'm sure we'll be next. Deodorant. It has chemicals in it that are probably bad for you.
Yeah.
Most of it. So, like, too, this is kind of why I'm having trouble with your question of what I would be mad about. Because when it comes to foods, especially being married now, she's looking for all the best quality foods to eat.
White rice or brown rice?
She still gets white rice, actually.
White rice is better for you than brown rice.
Okay. I normally prefer brown rice, but that's good to know. And then deodorant, for example. The deodorant that I use, she said you need to get this one because it doesn't have aluminum and doesn't have all these chemicals in it. The girls have this app now where they like scan it and it shows you like all the different stuff in it.
Yeah.
But my point is like there is a movement, I feel like, small movement of people that want to better themselves. Maybe not completely change their lifestyle, but it's like, hey, if I'm going to have sweets, let me at least pick something that's not loaded with chemicals, soda, desserts, whatever. Or like, hey, I have to use deodorant, but let me find one that's better for me and it's not going to give me a rash or give me cancer. So I think there's that movement kind of coming. And I think if RFK could focus on taking that mentality and kind of helping spread that, that would help as well. Because at the end of the day, like you said, we're creatures of habit. We just want to do the same thing. But if you can start to change the mentality of people to want to be better, then there's going to be less pushback and they're actually going to be happy about it.
I see history repeating itself where poorer communities will lag behind in this scenario. That's why.
Because of prices?
Because of choices.
Okay. Oh, you mean, okay, they'll be stuck with the same choices for a while.
Yes.
Okay.
They're going to have the McDonald's in there. They're going to have the same restaurants that they're there, where if you go to a poor community, there's a Walmart within 15 to 30 miles from that community, and they have gas stations. And other than that, those are their choices for food. And most Walmarts have a McDonald's in their parking lot in poor communities.
Yeah, but I think the whole point of RFK's goal is, listen, if McDonald's is your only option, let's at least make it better than it is right now, which is like the beef tallow thing, for example. Don't cook the fries in oils, cook them in beef tallow. So it's like, hey, if you have to eat McDonald's, at least you're getting a better version of it.
I completely agree with that. And it's just, I don't know where the price point is for people to where a cheeseburger is a cheeseburger. A sub is a sub. I got a sub from Subway the other day, and it was $20. A
You put
sub,
avocado on it?
a sub, a bag of chips, and a drink, their combo now is $20.
That's pretty crazy. What happened to the $5 footlong?
The good old days.
That was Jared, actually.
But
Jared from Subway. He's wearing green, too.
yeah, it's true.
I don't know if you know that or not, but you're wearing a green shirt.
Yeah.
I
know
didn't see
that.
black, so. So at the end of the day, I think we're going to see difficult choices ahead of people. Not just within the food, within how you're thinking about what the Trump administration is doing as far as the military. Well, the one thing that they've done with the military is, since Donald Trump has been elected and Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth has been put in place, recruiting is up 110% because of what they are presenting to the young people. They're presenting a different idea about what America should be. And this is what people are buying. Granted, you don't have a lot of one side of the fence joining the military. But in the history of the United States, you've never had one side of the fence protecting this country. It's always been the other. If you look at the people enlisted in the Army, Marines, Navy, across the country, predominantly most of those people are coming out of poor communities or rural areas. The only time you've had any affluent people in the military is when there's been a draft. So I think people need to be careful what they're asking for about what they're trying to do to Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. He doesn't want a war. He wants the United States to be so powerful that no one wants to mess with us.
Right.
And if we do have to do something, we can do it so stealth and with such lethality that it's over so quickly.
Exactly, yeah.
That's why over the next week, it's probably going to be within 2 weeks, because it's going to have to come down to where you can't keep having meetings with Iran.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be a time. Either you're on board or you're off. And if you're not on board, this is what the reality is going to be. And it's going to come to fruition. And Israel will probably lead the charge. And then you'll have everyone, half the country saying, we did this, we did that. I still can't get over how people can justifiably defend Hamas. The Palestinian people is one thing. Hamas is a completely different thing.
Right.
And so many youth don't differentiate between the two of those.
Ignorance.
Anyone out saying should kill Jews, I don't want you to be around me. I don't need you to be a part of our society. So it goes back to the credibility of the politicians representing these people, and it's all sleight of hand. How can I move this to make the narrative sell what I want to sell today? JB, you got anything to sell this week?
No, just my skill sets and work and
Cigars.
podcasts, cigars, interviews, and more meetings tomorrow,
So you're selling
Thursday,
yourself.
Friday. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
What is it you're selling?
Skill sets,
What's your skill?
writing software,
For
mobile applications.
Whoever pays.
Well, that too. Yeah, whoever pays.
mobile apps?
Yes.
All right. Well, mobile app seems to be pretty hot right now compared to a lot of other things. Because I get frustrated when I go to my iPad or my computer and this app does not match or can't be used with either.
Ah.
It's only accessible by mobile.
I got
So-
you. Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
We got you locked in.
I managed to go a week without breaking a phone, so I was
There
pretty
you go.
impressed. Had a good week with that.
Any horses let loose this week?
Oh, no, I managed not to have to do that, so that was good. I saw a lot of things traveling, though, of people getting in and out. Orlando's a very interesting place.
You're telling me.
Of people coming here to go see Mickey Mouse, to go see
You can
whatever.
always tell who they are.
Yep. And it's just. But one thing I did hear today on the way over here actually was Epic is opening at Universal. Or maybe it has already opened. The new theme park for Harry Potter,
Oh yeah.
all of that over there. The new rides, there's been glitches. So people have been stranded on rides already.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't want to be the first the first one to ride anything. I'll tell you that.
If I were running this situation, I think I would sit back, push the button, and let it run for just over and over and over again with nobody on there.
You would think they would do that though.
Yeah.
You would think that people would be okay with securing their border.
Fair.
You would think that people would be okay if you're here illegally. You have seen, speaking of apps, you've seen the new app to where you can call in and report yourself.
Already
To the-
did.
What?
I mean, no. Keep going.
You can call in and report yourself to the government.
Yeah.
To where you have an opportunity to say, I'm here illegally, but I would like the opportunity to come back here and get in line to be legal.
Exactly.
I wonder how many people actually have done that and not think they're just telling on themselves.
I think
Well,
a
how many-
bunch.
How many people call in and say, hey man, I drove 100 miles an hour today, it was only 55.
Exactly. So
Well, they're gonna go. I mean,
Speaking
I
of
wasn't
that,
there.
y'all both know how adamant I am about government control. Virginia has just implemented speeding to where if you're going 9 miles an hour over the speed limit and you get caught, it will be a felony.
crazy.
Felony.
That is crazy.
But they can't manage to lock up people for the things that are actually crimes. So they're going to spend their time and energy doing this.
Hey,
Jonzo, you're tired, man. What have you been doing? I know you just recently got married, but
wiped out. No. I think one of the reoccurring issues is that when you're looking to be in control so much, you end up just looking to punish the wrong people. Meaning, like, this guy was going 10 miles an hour of the speed limit. He's now a felon. And then that guy just drove by and shot someone out of his car window. And it's like, well, he was disenfranchised. We'll give him 3 months in jail and hope he does better. Like the crazy stuff we see and the crazy stuff we hear. So it's like they're worried about the wrong thing.
People can't be satisfied with where they are and what's going on. They're always looking for something to create more chaos. Simplification of the rules and regulations would be 100-fold better. Mm-hmm. You have federal judges making decisions right now that presidents should be making. And then you have the Supreme Court deciding that, well, I don't really know about this. It's real simple. If your child is going to a classroom in a state and those teachers are teaching them something you don't want your child to learn, you should have the ability to say, hey, I don't want my kid in that class.
I think so
exactly,
too.
yeah.
Whether it's, private school, you're paying for it. Public school, you're also paying for it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day...
It's hard for people to just get up and move and rezone themselves.
Yeah.
And I hate knocking young teachers. The teachers who are coming out and teaching, if you look at their political backing, it's in a different mindset.
Well, because they're coming straight out of the brainwashing
college
system.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as college, university. They're coming fresh out of that, and we see that 90% of students nowadays that are going to college are having more left-leaning views.
That's what's interesting. If you look at the southeast of the United States, 16 to 24-year-old people in southeastern colleges actually are the opposite. They're conservative.
Good.
So you've only got a few areas. Well, it's like anything else in the country. You've got 4 or 5 cities that literally control
the whole state
population.
Yeah.
Well, too, if you have big campuses in these big cities, you know, like, for example, UCF has 60,000 kids. Let's just use that as an example. You have 60,000 kids, but they're not going to stay there all their lives. They're going to spread out and go to different states, different counties, and become teachers or whatever. So you have like that centralized station where they go to learn, because everyone wants to go to a big school and be in the frat and whatever. Then they go back home or they go to another state, and the propaganda continues to spread.
So they either figured out, or they live with their mom and dad for 8 years, and then they realize, man, I got to have somebody else keep giving me stuff. Hence the federal government.
Vote blue.
What?
If you want free stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to read.
I pay for.
I'm going to read the quote that we started off the show with one more time tonight, because I think it's very relevant.
And it's not Andrew Jackson, right?
Correct. It is not Andrew Jackson. A nation which does not remember what it was yesterday does not know where it is today. That quote is so fitting for this country right now. So anybody figure out who it is, email it in, get what you want off your ship, walk the plank. All the leftovers you stole from Gonzo.
Those are gone. Those are all gone now. This week there's more work I got to finish after this. More work tomorrow. Got to shove in a bunch of meetings tomorrow, podcast, a lot of things we got to do, all time-based. But I really think that the Democratic leadership that's going to El Salvador, they should spend their own money or be exposed for spending the money that was donated them for them to run again. And realize the fact of the matter is their constituents don't seem to be any type of priority long-term for them. So think about when you go to the polls in 2026 for the midterms, don't vote these people back in.
Absolutely.
Gonzo, what you got?
Other than malice, as Jared so eloquently stated, lethargic, laziness should be walked off the plank. I think that there's a lot of people nowadays that have become too comfortable and fall kind of into laziness, and that not only hurts themselves, but it hurts the people around them, the people they work with, the people that are in their society. Because if you have one kink in the machine, it trickles around and things don't get done as fast. So I think we need to not only bring back the healthy mindset, but maybe bring back a hardworking mindset back to America.
I want the people who take advantage of this country and where they are and what they do, who don't appreciate what they have every day. And the people who are unhappy, go to bed tonight knowing tomorrow's another day and you have the ability to make yourself happy. And if you can't do it on your own, email the show. We'll try to figure out a way to all circle the campfire and we'll put something together.
Therapy.
But no one, just talking. You can call it whatever you want. Just having the ability to talk to somebody sometimes.
Yeah.
But I want all of that shit to walk the plank and get it off our ship, and we're going to live to fight another day. And that quote was said by the one and only Robert E. Lee.
Take care, everyone. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next week.